Hello, this is Derek Henry, founder of Healing the Body and creator of the Thrive Online Health Program. And today I'm going to talk about a very fun subject in nutrition and supplementation. And today I want to talk about how important food is, how important supplementation can be, and maybe talk a little bit about some of the diets and maybe what are some of the more helpful diets in terms of healing your body, making sure that you can overcome chronic disease conditions through nutrition, and just maintaining a good level of health for the rest of your life. Now, there's some arguments about whether food can just simply be the source of our well-being, and certainly it can if it is pure, is highly nutritious, and our digestion is working properly. Now, those are three big ifs there, because over the years, our soil has been stripped. We start with inferior seeds, and then we abuse the soils through chemicals by constant tilling, ripping the soils up, constantly disturbing it, pulling out the nutrients, and hardly giving anything back, in terms of fertilization, in terms of a comprehensive amount of nutrients. And as a result, they found that even things grown 50 years ago have up to 50% less nutrients than they do today. So we're automatically handicapped in terms of being able to get the amount of nutrients we want just from the food itself. And that's, as we go through the process, as you go through the farming process, and then you go through cooking and microwaving, and your food becomes irradiated and sits on the shelf for a while, it's not very fresh. All those things are going to affect its nutrient value. So by the time it hits your plate, and by the time it hits your mouth, this food is not nearly as nutritious. Now, this is why supplementation can be important. And we're talking about supplements. We're not just talking about vitamins and minerals or multivitamins, which many of them are synthetic and actually aren't properly absorbed by the body. We're talking about whole food nutrition, really. There's a lot of great supplements out there that are based on whole food nutrition. And really, we should think of supplementation just as concentrated nutrition. Taking, if you're not able to eat 15 carrots a day, but you can take 3 capsules that allows you to get that amount in. That can be very helpful for certain people in certain situations. And that's, that can go for any types of food. And there's certainly a lot of superfoods, as they call them out there, that are high in nutrition that you can get in supplements. It can really help reverse some serious conditions. I know myself, having overcome 13 chronic disease conditions myself, food was the foundation in terms of my healing. And it probably made up at least 70% at the time of my healing. But supplementation also was extremely helpful, having that whole food nutrition, having those herbs, knowing how to use those properly and getting them properly sourced, because not all supplement manufacturers are equal. And so using those two combinations was really what was the driver behind me being able to overcome 13 chronic disease conditions, learning how to use those things properly, along a number of other things in a holistic lifestyle, but they certainly were the driver. And this is now what I teach people in my Thrive Online Health Program, is how to use nutrition and supplementation effectively, because simply switching to a whole foods diet, that's great. That's great progress. That's definitely a step up from eating the processed food and eating those foods and beverages, drinking those beverages that aren't good for you. Eliminating the things that aren't doing your body any good, and eating more whole foods is certainly a step in the right direction. But as to use an example, as many people would know, if you decide to move into whole foods and you decide that bread is one of those things, and that bread maybe contains gluten, for some people this is going to create gastric distress. And that's just simply what it is. The individual is unable to properly digest the gluten proteins, and that can cause a serious issue. And a lot of people know this and know they can't touch that stuff. So that's an example where whole food is it's not quite as simple as that, unfortunately, these days. You have to eat foods that are largely resonant with you in your digestive system. So having said that, there's lots of different diets out there these days too, and which one do you follow? And I always say if it's a diet and it's not sustainable, then really is there a point to doing a particular diet? And that's the biggest problem with diets, is that they're usually short term. People are relying on willpower in terms of being able to carry out this diet for long enough for a period of time to get the results that they're hoping to get. And willpower is going to die out. There's only a certain amount of people that are going to be able to rely on willpower to sustain that kind of diet so you can have the kind of results you want for the rest of your life. And really what people need to dial in is to their why power. And why power is why are you doing this? Are you doing this for the benefit of your health? Are you doing this for your children? Are you doing this for your parents? How are you doing it? What's the bigger reason outside of maybe, let's call it a more inferior reason of just losing some weight? And losing some weight is a great thing. That's a great thing if that's what you want to do. But that's a little bit different than doing it so that you can parent your children and be around for them for decades to come. That's more something that's connected to your heartstrings and your why. And when you have a bigger reason, a bigger purpose like that, that's going to allow you to sustain a diet for a longer period of time. For me, for example, maybe it was some willpower in the beginning, but my why power is I never wanted to feel sick again, and I never wanted to go back there. And then eventually it became I wanted to be, a responsible parent. I wanted to be a father to my children that could play with them, into my, senior years and still not have those aches and pains that a lot of seniors may have. And I wanted to make sure that I did that properly. So my willpower eventually became my why power, and I never had to worry about ever going off course because it was strong enough that this is just what I do. There's no question it. There's no need for me to exercise an inordinate amount of discipline. It's just something that I do. So which diets are healthy and which aren't? Well, that's difficult to say in some ways, but I think what a lot of people can agree to and a lot of people are figuring out is that a diet that's deeply rooted in plants is extremely important. So whether you have a philosophy of whether you're vegan or you're vegetarian or you're paleo or you're keto, no matter what diet plan you decide on, I think a key component or the healthy part of any plan would be having a lot of plant-based nutrients in there. And of course, there's lots of details that go into that, how much from fruits, how much from vegetables, how much from grains, all these different types of things, and knowing kind of your ratios of each. But of any healing centers out there, anyone who's done any significant amount of healing for themselves and for others, myself included, know that the answers to that were primarily in plant-based nutrition. This is what is going to fuel your body. Plants contain everything that really, for the most part, what you need to live a happy and healthy life. They contain the enzymes, the probiotics are extremely important. The vitamins, the minerals, they have a lot of antibacterial, viral, fungal, parasitic activity to keep those unwanted organisms out of our body. They have the amino acids. You can get your protein from plants. You just need to know how to do it properly. And so following a plant-based diet is really, I think most people have found, anyone who's went on a plant-based diet and has learned the proper ratio of eating these foods has always seen great results if they're doing it properly. Guaranteed, pretty much every time your plant-based diet, when you do it the right way, you're going to see dramatic improvements. And so with that, this is the kind of thing that I teach within the Thrive Online Health Program, is how to make the best choices, and not necessarily tell you what to do, but show you how to do it, and show you all the best categories, or show you the best foods in all the categories of food, and so that whatever it is that you choose, you make the right choice for each category. So there's lots of different categories of foods, and making sure that you understand what the best choices are in each of those allows you to make the best decisions for yourself going forward from a potency and a purity aspect. And then from there, you can continue to tweak your diet, to determine what works the best for you and your particular physiology. But I would say keep a very open mind and watch what works and what doesn't, and understand it. But we'll take you through this in the Thrive Online Health Program. You'll have a nutritional plan that'll allow you to participate in the benefits of plant-based nutrition, and not only that, show you how to prepare them properly, how to use them properly in recipes, so that it has a very significant healing effect. Because again, whole food nutrition is important, but just randomly going out and not understanding your ratios and how to do it properly, and even to put it into recipes that you can sustain, is going to make the difference between you making it and failing. And this is why the results are so dramatic. Why I've been able to help people alleviate or eliminate over 20 different chronic disease conditions to date is largely because of the anchor that this diet is within the Thrive Online Health Program, which is a very holistic approach to health, and is probably one of the best ways to obtain better health, not just now, but for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in nutrition, supplementation, how to do this right, how to heal chronic disease conditions, or how to prevent them, it's the same method. Whether you're reversing or you're preventing, it's the same exact way to do it. Some people just need to be a bit more diligent with their nutrition. If they're having more serious health problems, they need to be more on point. Where those that are just trying to prevent, I certainly encourage them to follow it very closely. But certainly, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, that's for sure. You do not want to let things go too far, because when that happens, things become a lot tougher, trust me, to unwind. If I had just simply done some important things, 2 or 3 years prior to me getting sick, I would have probably avoided all the things that I had to deal with for 10 years, overcoming and unwinding a number of conditions. And it took me a lot longer because of waiting too long. So I encourage you, don't wait till then. Be the healthiest, happiest human you can be, not just for you, not just for your family, not just for your friends, but just to participate in this experience we call life and help raise other people's vibration, because more healthy and happy people out there is certainly going to create more healthy and happy people across the planet. So my name is Derek Henry, again, founder of Healing the Body and creator of the Thrive online health program, reminding you to not just survive, but thrive.